I, like many of us, love watching live Megadeth performances, especially from the golden era with Marty Friedman, Nick Menza, and of course, Ellefson and Mustaine. And I love that there's an entire culture that exists around just one solo, like the Tornado of Souls solo, and all the comparisons between the various Megadeth guitarists that have played it. And I find more often than not that it's usually the author of the solo who plays it best. And that should be obvious, right? All players speak a certain way through their guitars with phrasing, vibrato, note choice, cadence, etc. Oh, and by the way, this isn't a video just about the Tornado of Souls solo, but we are going to hear it naked, meaning no other instruments. We'll hear Marty play it and many more of his famously magnificent solos a cappella. Now, typically a cappella refers to singing without any other instrumental accompaniment, but this is sort of the same thing as we'll hear Marty playing his leads by himself during a guitar clinic in Los Angeles, summer of '92. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Just beautiful. Oh man, I've been trying to play that one for years. Never been able to get the grasp of it. And by the way, all the video we're gonna see here was shot by a guy named Jake Willis, who attended the clinic back in '92. So all credit goes to Jake, and I wanna thank him personally for uploading this video to YouTube for all of us. But in this video here, I wanted to just play my favorite moments and bask in the glory of the legendary Marty Friedman. So let's check out some more here. By the way, Marty starts out playing like his own solo material, like to backing tracks, and just plays like the solos over that kind of stuff and everything. But if you want to watch that again, you can watch the full 18-minute video over on JX's channel. But we're just gonna go through here where Marty just starts taking requests after that opening segment and just pleases the crowd with classic Megadeth solos. This is all like from the Rust in Peace era, these solos. Countdown had been released about a month earlier, but he doesn't do any, at least in this video, from that. But let's hear some of these Rust in Peace jams here. Right now, let's get into some of the Hangar 18 ones. Check these out. Feedback issues. Before the time of the ISP decimator, obviously.
So much if that's what it's doing. I think I did something like that when it like breaks into that jamming section, right? I do like a little chord like that. And then
unbelievable vibrato, just the note choices. I would love to ask him personally, like what he thinks about when he's writing these solos, but I know that's the case with everybody out there. You'd like to sit with your favorite guitar player and just ask him about how he comes up with this stuff. But I just wonder, like, does Marty like play a bunch of leads and then like they just and record them all, and then the one that sticks or whatever? Does he think them out beforehand? I don't know. But some more requests here. He goes into Lucretia next. This one's super dope.
Lucretia?
Lucretia. Such an awesome line. Really hard to play too. I find. Definitely a Dave thing. Let's hear that solo. that ending note. He comes. Thank you. He comes in and out of solos so awesome. There's almost every single solo of his bends from some like note that would, as he would call, be illegal, you know, over the progression or whatever. But he starts with that illegal note just for a sec, but bends right into the perfect pitch. Wah, like tornado. We'll get into that. Although I think that first note gets cut off in this video. But again, about like, you know, as just sitting there watching that Lucretia one, it's like, did he plan all that out in advance? Or does he just rip and they put it together? God, I'd love to know that stuff. Hey, Ola's been talking to him recently. Maybe Ola can ask him that kind of stuff. How did he write these solos? Because it just seems so natural to him. And me watching these like instructional DVDs, which I've been on a tear watching those lately. I've been watching them, you know, for years, and they inspire me every time. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hunker down and really learn some of these Marty solos. Then I get started, and they're just so difficult that I don't know if give up is the right word, but I get caught up in something else, playing some riff that's attainable or something. But man, this stuff is just so inspiring. The sound of it, absolutely incredible. He goes into, he takes some questions kind of throughout or whatever, and somebody asks him about what effects he likes. And he basically says none at all. You know, he says that just the room reverberation, whatever they're in, whether it's a theater or an arena or whatever, the actual delay that happens from the size of the room, you know, the PA sending that out there and then it's slapping back and all that is the perfect amount of delay for him to hear live, and he likes that. But what he likes to hear live is interesting. Listen to this.
Live, I try to listen to everything else. And if I can just hear if I can hear the exact mix that's on the record, it's perfect. Because for me, when I'm playing live, it's kind of like just sitting in your room and playing along with the record. You know, I try to feel on the bass and the drums. If I hear the drums good, I can get a good good rhythm reference, and I hear a bass good, I can get a good pitch reference.
So a couple things I think is interesting about that. Obviously, he says he wants to hear it like the record, and that's what all musicians on stage, I think, want to hear. You know, just to have a nice, clear mix, which is certainly not always the case. Especially, you know, going to, you know, for younger bands that don't have their own front of house and monitor engineer, or in a festival situation or something where you don't have the same crew doing the same thing every night. You know, the audio changes every single night. It's a different room every night, different size stage every night, a height, width, just everything has so much to do with all that. And like when you can hear everything perfectly while you're performing, you just feel so much better. You could take your mind off of so many other things and just play. But when you can't hear yourself, it's disastrous, and you're totally not like just, you know, in the moment playing. You're struggling to hear, making sure that you're in time and in pitch and everything. So he says as long as he can hear the drums well enough that he can stay in time. Personally, for myself, I always just put kick, snare, and hats in my monitors. I'd love to have a full, awesome drum mix, but as long as I can hear kick, snare, and hats, you know, I can stay in time fairly well. So those things are really important. But what I found most interesting was that he says he gets his pitch reference from the bass. That seems crazy to me, like such a subsonic instrument like that he's able to, you know, make sure he's in pitch with that. I would think, especially having another guitar player like with Mustaine, that would be your pitch reference. Not so much vocals, because the vocals are also heavily relying on the instruments for their, you know, reference pitch and everything. But to hear that he gets that reference from the bass, I found that pretty unique. Let's check out Tornado Souls here. Like I said, the very beginning, which that opening note is so sick, that gets cut off in here, I believe. And then you could tell after he plays it, he's so inspired, he just starts free jamming and he goes into like this just totally free solo thing. Check this out. just so expressive. Undeniable expression in there, those huge bends and just soaring. It's like a vocalist, you know, but just dancing in and out of those notes. Unreal. Yeah. And again, like that Tornado Soul solo, I said, like, there's this whole culture about it. Me and Jim LaMarca from Chimera years ago, we tried to get a little cover band going. And one of the songs we were covering was Tornado Souls, and I was responsible for playing the solo. And that's where I tried to start learning it and discovered this culture. There's like just dozens or 100 videos on YouTube of so many guys playing it, and like just the analyzation of all the different Megadeth players playing it. It's just crazy what's one solo. It's because it's so marvelous, right? But the effect that it can have on people, and which is how beautiful and wonderful it is. So kudos to Marty, man. Wow. Okay, a couple more sections here. This one is quite interesting. Somebody asks, so remember this is 92. So somebody asks Marty's opinion on Zakk Wylde, and listen to what he has to say. So I was trying to think about this. I should have researched it beforehand, but I don't know if like, No More Tears had hit yet. Like I said, this is like 92, but Zakk's playing with Ozzy. I'm guessing that like No More Tears is big right now and that album and stuff. So check this out. So again, his thoughts on Zakk Wylde.
Zakk is probably one of the best guitar players out right now. Fucking aggressive motherfucker. That guy can really play. Randy's really good. I think Zakk though is like, just smokes him, really. I mean, nothing against Randy. I think Randy's great, but I think Zakk, I mean... He's still alive, though. Hey, everybody's still alive, man. Zakk is great, man. Listening to him play, he's a real aggressive guitar player. He's not one of those guys who, like, wears their guitar up to here and fucking looks real close at their fingerboard while he's playing. You know, that guy, like, he plays real manly, and that's really cool. I like that. Gary Moore's another one of those guys. Yeah.
So Marty likes a manly guitar player. I wouldn't have thought that. That's funny. But hey, Zakk is definitely a manly guy, like a Hell's Angel, right? And yeah, right on. All right, so we got one more little one, a little Holy Wars solo here. Let's check this one out. It's got one of my favorite little parts in it. Check this out. Unfortunately, it's not all the Holy Wars solos, but it's either one or a few. We'll see. Can all sing that part coming up. But Jude, this one little part here, dude, listen to this. That little pause there, do. I don't know if that's like a 7-note thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do. Just phrased so well. Just amazing. So, just wanted to gush over Marty here. Like I said, I've been on a Marty tear, watching all sorts of stuff recently, and I came across this, and I love this, just where you can hear stuff by themselves, old, Van Halen, Eddie, or even isolated vocal stuff, isolated Eddie stuff, isolated vocal stuff, isolated Beach Boys, the Beatles, so many great things where you just get to hear a different version, a different perspective of a song that you know so well, and a lot of these, especially older musicians, legacy musicians and stuff, just hearing how great they were before automation and, editing and Pro Tools and all that kind of stuff. Nothing against that. I use those tools every single day, but still, you just had to be better before because, the tool for the job that we have today didn't exist back then, and there was only one way to get it. So that's that. Thank you for joining me with this one. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And that's going to do it. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you from me and from Marty. We'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Cool.